How are you guys doing today? My name is Ilya. I am the owner, temporary at this point, of this particular firearm. I have owned this gun for a pretty nice duration of time. Throughout this time, I have fired this gun, and this gun has never in its life had a jam in my possession. This is a Israeli War Hammer. This guy is a full Israeli kit. In fact, it is a 100% Israeli parts kit. Everything except for the receiver and the main pin that matches the barrel to the receiver. Those are the only two parts that are not original to the gun. However, they are also not American made. In fact, I don't believe there's a single piece on this particular gun that is American made. This is all imported. And to be more specific, the receiver has been imported from Imbel, a company in Brazil that actually manufactured the FALs as well. This wing was imported by Century Arms. However, this is not a Century Arms build. This is a forged receiver, and upon being imported to the US, handed off to somebody else who I consider a pro builder, because this particular gun was built to the letter, just like they would back in the factory. However, it is a semi-automatic rifle that is easily told because there is no hole right here. There is no hole there, which means there is no fully automatic sear, and there is no fully automatic option on this particular firearm, except for the trigger, the hammer, the selector. Selector is a fully automatic selector. That does not mean anything. There is no fully automatic sear, none of that kind of stuff. This is, for all intents and purposes, a semi-automatic rifle. This particular firearm was adopted by the Israeli military back in the 1950s, and they actually adopted it before the NATO did. And they actually adopted it in the 7.62 by 51 NATO cartridge, or 308. And this particular firearm is a heavy barrel machine gun, which means this barrel is a lot heavier and a lot thicker and is able to sustain a lot more fire than a smaller light barrel rifle, which means when you're sitting there shooting it at the range, you can expect it to function. Now you see that it is cut down right now, right? There is no muzzle brake right here, and there is no bipod. That is done so already in the United States, I presume. That is because these guns, or at least the heavy barrel machine gun versions like this one, were extremely inaccurate. In fact, they were specifically inaccurate because if you're doing suppressive fire for your assault team, you want to be able to spread your rounds out. This is not where you want the bullets going into one hole. This particular one, the chopping and the crown, as you guys just saw, is really good. In fact, I'm doing an inch group at 100 meters with this particular gun, and I'm not exactly the best person when it comes to vision. I'm actually almost legally blind at this point. So all the parts in this gun, to my knowledge, are Israeli, except for that one pin, and I'm not exactly 100% sure where the stock came from, the rear stock. The front stock is guaranteed Israeli. It is a painted black. And anytime I spoke to into a parts kit builder, a specific FAN professional, they all said that this particular one does not appear to be painted in the United States, which means this gun was painted in Israel. And the Israelis in the 1970s in particular had a tendency to do that with some rifles when they were fighting the Egyptians on the Southern Front. This was done so the gun is not visible at night. There's no flashy parts and none of that kind of stuff. And I have a belief that this particular gun served there. The barrel does say that on the barrel, I'm not going to take this part off right now, but right here on the barrel, on this side, it actually says 1970 and all the proof marks all around it. This barrel is a 1970 barrel made in Israel. Presumably the rest of the gun is made alongside with it. You know it's also a heavy barrel because this handle is facing forward and there's an indent right there. And the way that it fits on this particular gun, I'm pretty sure this is all original to the gun. I'm pretty sure this was never, I'm pretty sure this was never off another gun. And the rare thing about these firearms, and a majority of them do not have it, so keep an eye out for that, is this little pin right here. This little kind of like an insert spacer that keeps these two pieces of wood from collapsing on each other. This is actually pretty hard to find as an original part to an Israeli gun. Other than that, this gun has an old serial number right here, which is no longer functional. It is actually kind of cool. It is 5544. Has no correlation with the actual serial number, which is now right here. Stampings, the Israeli IDF stampings are literally all over this gun, wherever you look, even on the magazine. And on the magazine, just like true Israeli fashion, it is not clear. Ones that are clear were either made later on or were re-stamped by DSA upon import. And they like to push them in a little bit more so they're visible. People want to buy that stuff. But this is not a DSA build. This is not a Century Arms build. This is a true and true pro build FN FAL, which for legal purposes can be registered as an Imbel FAL. So for those interested in this particular firearm, you can definitely give me a contact and we'll discuss sales to California. If you guys have any other questions regarding this gun whatsoever, you can reach me on Gunbroker. You guys can comment in this YouTube channel. And this one is going to be coming up for auction on Gunbroker a little later this week. So along with that will come this video. Obviously, you guys are viewing it. And yeah, happy bidding. And I'll write down ways to pay me later on. Have a good one, guys.